Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm excited about today. Whenever I'm ending something, I feel like I'm ending something with you guys. And so we are actually on our last day of our 7 day marathon, the money conversation. If you're joining me on the replay, hello, how are you? Hope all is well on this great Sunday morning. I'm going to do a quick introduction for those of you who come on and you're like, who's this lady? What on earth is she talking about? And so I'll do a quick introduction and then I have something that I want to share with you guys at the end of the broadcast. Two things that I ask while you're on the broadcast, even if you're catching me on the replay, communicate with me. Let's actually have a conversation. You guys can tap the screen to show a little love, or if the information is just registering to you, make sure you tap the screen and let me know. First, I am Tanya Wilson Cherry. I'm a business consultant and certified life coach. I have a 20 plus year background in one of the most amazing industries on the planet. Good morning, everyone. Erica, Pamela, how are you, dear? Thank you for joining this morning. I have a 20 plus year background in one of the most amazing industries on the planet, the beauty industry, and 10 years as a former salon owner. I help hairstylists and salon owners get new customers, maintain the ones they have, and profit for real, right, in their business, save time and money, all while creating a business and lifestyle that they love, right, that they don't mind going to. Good morning, Erica. And so, my normal scheduled broadcast, for those of you who will join me in this broadcast, you actually can click get notifications, and that way you won't miss me on a broadcast time if you find what I'm saying interesting and it's helping your life. But my normal scheduled broadcast times are 8:30 a.m. and 9:15 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays. Until the last week in September, my 9:15 broadcast. Hey, Keisha Baker, how are you, dear? My 9:15 broadcast will not be going down because I'll be in class with my 3D Success Mentorship and Branding Bootcamp mentees. And so, hey, Denise Benjamin, how are you? Thank you, everybody, for joining this morning. As I said before, we are having a conversation. Feel free to comment. You guys tap the screen for hearts if I'm saying something that's registering to you, it's helping your life or your business. And don't forget, hit the little button on the left that says share. Somebody else needs this money conversation here. And as I said before, I have something to share with you guys at the end of the broadcast. So hold tight with me. What I do once a month, I do what's called I call a 7 day marathon where I broadcast 7 days in a row, guys, about any given topic. And the topic for this particular broadcast has been money, the money conversation, the one thing all of us need, children. But sometimes we're not comfortable having a conversation about it. So I thought I would step up to the plate and allow an opportunity for us to converse about money. And if you guys want, I actually have day 1 through 6 on my timeline on Facebook. You can go back and look at that. It gives some great tips about, your money and budgeting. But on today, I wanted to do the money conversation a little different because I believe, I know from experience, guys, that our money and our wealth is so connected to us. And one of the things I say all the time is your mind has a lot to do with your money and everything else that you set out to do. But on today, I want to give you guys some insight to a consulting call that I had with a client, and kind of let you guys know, or just get a real life example of how your thinking and you are really tied to your abundance in your life, your money, your cheddar, your coins, your money, right? And so I'm going to start off with kind of just sharing just a little bit about the client. They already know that I'm sharing the story. I'm still not going to do names or even their business, right? But I did get permission to share the story. And so I've been working with this client for quite some time now, and they're actually not even in the beauty industry. They're in another industry, and I've been coaching and consulting with them. And one of the things that I was so determined to do for this particular person was to help them set up systems, right? Now, guys, I'm going to connect this to your money, your business. why some things may not be moving forward for you. You guys will be able to glean a lot from me replaying the conversation that I had with my consultant client. You guys doing okay out there this morning? Tap the screen. Let me know you're doing okay on this Sunday morning as we're rocking out. So this particular client, as I said, is not in the beauty industry. They're in another industry, but they were struggling to get things done. And so I talked to them about systems. I've been trying to get them to put some systems in place in their business so that they weren't working so hard, right? Kind of like automating things. So one of the things, take away from that is when you're looking at your business and your money, being relevant, right? Right now we have technology, and so it's really no excuse, guys, but to actually put in the work, or to get someone to help you put in the work to put systems in place so that you aren't losing valuable time. Hey Tremaine, how are you? Thank you for joining. Glenn, thank you for joining this morning. And so I'm sharing a conversation I had with a consulting client. Hey Glenn. And so we were talking, and guys, it even, so what the client did was hired me to build some systems for them in their business to make doing business easy. And one part, hey darling, one part of their business, they have to consult with the clients. Now, if you're in the hair industry, the beauty industry, the barber industry, a lot of industries, it's really a great idea to have a consultation with the person that you're about to work with. Now, this person, as I said before, is not in the beauty industry, but they were having consultations. But what they were doing was they were riding to go meet people. They were spending hours on the phone with people, and they were giving them valuable information that the client would in turn go back and have someone else do for them, or possibly do themselves, right? And so there are just some things that you need to do to make sure that you're not losing money, right? We're having a money conversation this morning. And so I began helping them put systems in place so that they could do a lot of things online. Now, it took them a long time to put those, actually start using the systems. And I'm going to connect this back to self or you, right? One, meeting clients, and this, I'm just going to keep it 100, right? The opportunity for them to go sit down and meet the clients, there was an attachment there for my client, right? They were in a position in their life where being around people and talking to people was, it was good for them. And I do feel that there is a point where you do meet with the client, right? If you're going to service them. Well, there's some businesses that just transactions go on just straight through online, but for the most part, eventually you meet with the customer. But this person had a personal attachment to that actual scenario, but they were wasting valuable time. They would have to set up a meeting, they would have to go and meet the person, they would sit down for about an hour, they would end up giving all of the information almost away during the consultation, and then have to drive back home. So they were spending sometimes 4 hours talking to someone who wasn't assured that they wanted to do business with them because of their own personal desires for connection, guys, right? And they would not set up the actual systems that allowed them to do it online, because of what they were used to. Remember, a lot of times we're doing things in our business that we're so used to and so accustomed to, but they're making us work harder and not smarter, right? And so when we get new information, if we don't go ahead and put that information into play, we'll be confused about whether or not the information really works. And so we're talking about systems and how putting them in your business will help your money, right? This person is wasting hours talking to people that may not end up doing business with them, right? But the next reason the person was wanting to meet with them so much was so that they could prove to them how valuable they were, because on the inside, they really didn't feel that they were valuable enough, right? You guys got to hear me. They really didn't feel that they were valuable enough themselves, so they felt they had to give this big presentation to prove that. Now, I do believe that we have to create influence in our business. especially with social media and online. People do have to know, like, and trust you. But this was one piece in their business that really needed to change. What was happening is they were doing a whole lot of busy work, that wasn't allowing them to prosper. Okay, the next thing about this consultation, this is how it's connected to you. Your abundance is connected to you. Whether or not you will go ahead and do and put systems in place or get the right information, a lot of it is just internal, guys. I learned this about myself too. Some of the things that were just keeping me from whatever that next level were, they're normally attached to us. And this is why I say that your business never grows past how you develop personally. Somebody tap the screen. Your business never grows beyond how you develop personally. And if it does soar and take off and you have not grown to that measure, it's going to come back down to where you are until you can actually become the person that can operate and stand on that next level. And so this is the next thing that came out of this. This person did not, one, they didn't measure the time that it was taking them to do this particular thing in their business, right? And one of the reasons they didn't do that is because they had not learned to value their own time yet. Somebody tap the screen. They had not learned to value their own time yet. And guys, all of this is really a self-worth. It all boils down to a self-worth thing, right? Because we allow people to waste our time when we haven't learned to value our own time yet, right? And so what we end up doing, because you guys know I say this, you attract who you are. I did it. I've done it. I'm still doing it. I'm attracting people based on where I am personally, right? That's who's wanting to rock out in my lane. And so because this person they didn't think that their time was value. All of this is a self-worth thing, guys. I know people are like, okay, what in the world does, my self-worth have to do with my money? But a lot. It is one of the reasons I have master life classes. You guys, if you follow me, I'm a certified life coach as well as a beauty business consultant. And so in my master life classes, we talk about life stuff, right? Because there's a huge connection to your personal life and your coins. A huge connection to your personal life and your coins. So I learned here, and this person learned in our consulting call, that they didn't value their time. They didn't think that their time was worthy enough of putting some different systems in place. They didn't think that their business was valuable enough where they should have something that helps them to defeat time busters. And sometimes, guys, we can get so accustomed to doing so many busy things, right? Because it makes us feel like we are prospering or moving forward, when in actuality, if we really measure that thing, I'm real big on measuring. I'm real big on reflecting. One of the things I do, well, I used to do it about every 90 days, but now I do it about every month, guys. I just kind of go back and look at what I'm doing in my business to see if it's what's working and what's not working. And I'm going to share something on my broadcast on Monday that I have been doing for a while. And I realized it was actually lowering some of my marketing efforts. And it was a tool that I was using that was supposed to increase it, but instead it was decreasing it. So I'm going to share that with you guys on Monday. It's going to be great because I'm going to show you guys how even my self-worth was tied into that particular strategy that I was using. So we learned, one, that the systems that I was giving them to put in place, a part of them not putting those systems in place was because they had habits, right? They had habits that they had become accustomed to that were no longer working for them. And they were just doing things out of routine, although it wasn't working, although it was causing them frustration. And so the next thing that, the next part of the conversation I had with my client was finding out who their client was. If you guys go to my broadcast from yesterday, I did like a pop-up broadcast on branding, and I talked about your ideal customer and your niche. And, when I began to help this person devise some strategies that were going to help them multiply their efforts and not just pick one client up here or there, and actually take their business to a new level, and then allow them an opportunity to work less. right? Sometimes we feel like the more clients I get, the more money I'm going to make, but we only have 24 hours in a day. And so a lot of what I'm doing with my clients is teaching them strategies to maximize the time that they have and get the most value for each and every effort that they're making. And so I was developing going over a strategy with my client on how they could multiply their efforts and figuring out, like, who is it that you've been servicing, that you've been so frustrated about the outcomes. It's been messy. They are haggling with you about the prices. So let's figure out what's really going on. And I feel you need to find a new target market and a new ideal customer. And so as I'm going over this with them and I'm suggesting different things that they do, they tell me about an opportunity that they had to work with this really exclusive company, right? And they turned the opportunity down, guys. And it's so amazing because while we're going through this coaching or consulting call, they're learning things about themselves that are connected to their value, that's connected to their coins. And one of the reasons they said that they realize now, the reason that they turned the opportunity down is because they knew that they would realize in working with this company, which was a company of excellence that had reached out to them. They said if they work with them, they knew that it would really show them that they really weren't ready. That they really weren't ready. And so I bring this up to you guys because many of you are turning down opportunities to do things greater, to invest bigger in your business, because on the inside, you feel there are some things that you don't quite have in place. Understandable. I think we all have some things that we don't have in place for whatever our next level is, right? But if you don't feel that you deserve it, hey Simone, how are you, dear? If you don't feel that you deserve it, when someone of another caliber or has an opportunity that may be a little higher than where you are now, you'll turn it down if you're operating off of what I call a fixed mindset. Because a growth mindset would look at the opportunity. Thank you for sharing, Simone. I appreciate it. Would look at the opportunity and say, okay, I do realize there are some things that I need to do differently. And so I'm going to up level how I show up so that I can meet this opportunity of excellence. So many of you are turning down opportunity, and it's all self-worth, guys. I promise you, this thing leads back to how you value yourself and your self-worth and what you desire for your business. I'm going to go back to when I talked about the time thing that I discussed with on the consulting call, when the person was, just kind of refusing to put the systems in place that I had shared with them, knowing that it would free up their time. Guys, that is it's one of the questions I asked them, because this is how I help them get clarity. I said, how important is it to you that you get to your next level? Because that's a question you have to ask. I also want you guys to know, remember I said this client that I'm working with is not in the beauty industry, but the principles, they work out the same, right? Whether you stylist behind a chair, a salon owner, whatever the situation is, these principles work out and they mean the same. And so when we talked about valuing time, this particular person also works a regular full-time job, and they have a business on the side that makes good money, but it could be making a lot more money, and they could be working a lot less if they put the systems in place. And they've been doing that. I've been actually working with this client for some years now. So I see them, but the process is so slow because they are also learning to value themselves on another level. So when I'm asking them the questions, I said, okay, one of the reasons why you may not be pushing forward is because you have a security blanket. Remember, this person already has a job, right? But their desire is to eventually allow their business to replace the income that they have, so that they can have more freedom in their personal life, right? So that they aren't punching a clock and having someone dictate and tell them what to do all the time. And I said, it has to become important enough to you to replace that income. You have to understand that those small things that I'm asking you to do are connected to your ability to gain another level of freedom. And so as I begin to bring clarity on that measure, as this person really begins to value themselves differently. And guys, although it's a consulting call, a lot of my clients get really comfortable and they begin talking about personal things. Remember, I told you guys that I got permission to share this from my client. You have to have a plan, then step out on faith. It will work. And so Simone says you have to have a plan, step out on faith. It will work. And most of all, guys, you have to believe in yourself. All of your next level, if you don't feel you qualify, you'll pass the opportunities up. This person actually said that they passed up an amazing opportunity because they didn't want to have to see themselves that they weren't ready, right? And so, guys, we deal with a little bit of pride when we talk about that, but guys, none of us are truly like ready for the next level. You have to get ready for the next level. And the next level of your abundance and your finances is so connected to how you value yourself, how worthy you feel you are, or how much you actually believe in yourself. Some of the information you get, okay, so maybe it seems over your head, right? And the next level normally is over your head. So it's normal for that to be uncomfortable, for new information or new systems to be uncomfortable to you. But if you don't have a full desire, you won't become the person that can actually handle what's on the next level, right? And so as I share with you, my client was saying they didn't do it because they didn't really want to see just how much they weren't ready. But sometimes you have to put yourself out there for an opportunity that you've never had before, that you've never done before, because you're going to learn some things along the way. And also it's going to push you to develop the muscle to be able to do it, right? Because if you don't do something different, if you don't step out and invest in yourself and your business on another level, you will always remain at the level that you're on. And a lot of it is connected to self-worth. So I was telling you guys that a lot of times with my clients, they get comfortable. We begin to talk about some personal things. And so this person also shared with me how they were attracting people who always had a whole lot of stuff going on, right? And they were kind of like in a position where they were saving the people all the time, or they were spending a lot of their energy and their time almost coaching people into becoming what they needed to become in order to be on an even keel with them in the relationship. So I know we're talking about business, but this is what this person began to share. And so it all connected back to a self-worth. But now that they see that they are worthy of great relationships, now that they see that they are, good morning, darling. Good morning, Miss Smith. Now that they see that they are worthy of the next level of abundance and finances, they begin putting things in place and they see a difference. They actually had an aha moment while we were on the call saying, I haven't actually gone physically to go meet a client in about 3 to 4 months. I now use the system that you've given me because I created they actually have a template that they send out to the clients where they ask them a question and ask them the necessary questions. And then once those questions are answered, they have an opportunity to see if the person is a good fit. The person has to send them information. All of it is saving time, getting rid of some of the busy work, because sometimes we want to just have our hands in everything because it makes us feel more valuable. Guys, this is so connected to our worth. If you guys get that, tap the screen for me and let me know how this registers. Let me know that this registers for you. Let me know that you understand that how you see yourself, how you believe in yourself is going to affect your coins. It's going to affect your coins. It's going to affect what opportunities you say yes to, what opportunities you say no to. It's going to affect the systems that you put in place, whether or not you go ahead and get the work done, right? All of it is connected back to your self-worth. I see all of the hearts. I see all of the likes. I appreciate it, guys, because I want to make sure, hey, Sharon, how are you, dear? I want to make sure that this is registering for you guys. And so I thought I would come on for the last day of the money conversation and just kind of share a consulting call with you and how I work with my clients and how your self-worth is tied to everything you do in your business. And I also said, for those of you who joined me in the beginning, that I had a surprise for you. So as I was preparing for the broadcast, I said, what a great way to end the 7-day marathon. I do master life classes every month for my private clients and people who are on my list only, right? But I am opening up the doors to everybody who watches this broadcast. You guys can join us at our next master life class. It is called Finding Your Abundant Self. We've done two prior. I decided to begin giving the master life classes that deal more with, life coaching. It, of course, it ties into your business as this broadcast did. But we've done two so far this year. One was called Mental Detox. The other was Money Blocks. And this one is Finding Your Abundant Self. Guys, your abundance in your life, your peace, your joy, your money, your coins, is all going to be connected to the abundant you on the inside. So I'm inviting you guys to join us. You have until 12 midnight to join. It is normally only for my private classes. I've opened it up to the public. It's only $27 for the Master Life class. We have one every month. We just had our last one. Money Blocks was amazing. Our next one is September 12th, I believe. It's virtual, online, and it's going to help you guys raise the abundant path that you're on. One of the things I share on my consulting call, when I begin to talk to them about forward thinking things, I said, I'm raising your vibration. You can't listen. This is what happens with money conversations. I shared on my Money Conversations broadcast the other day that in conversation with my dad, maybe 8 to 10 years ago, he said, I'm taking a year off. I'm on the other end, like, you doing what? Like, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what you mean by that. And he said, I'm taking a year off. And he literally took a year off. My father was, because he's actually retired now from his own business. He's an entrepreneur. He's owned a trucking company for years. And at this point, he didn't have any workers. He had about 6 rigs. He decided he didn't want to do that part, but he took a year off. Now, you guys know, to be able to do that, some got to be straight, right? And not only did he do that, he remodeled his whole house, like doubled it in size during that time. And so in my mind, I'm like, wow. But if I had not had just that simple conversation, it raised my vibration. It raised my money energy, right? Because I'm like, man, if somebody else can do it, I can now set my sights to new things. And so I talk to you guys all the time about who's in your circle, who's in your tribe, the type of accountability that you have, and how important it is, because it raises your vibration, it raises your energy for next level, guys. The word says, as a man thinks, so is he. So it raises your level of thinking. When I say vibration, I mean that, like, money is energy, right? And if you're frustrated, you're complaining, and then you're only talking to people who are frustrated and complaining, that's where your vibration is. But if you're in an environment where people are talking about forward thinking things, they're talking about things that you probably hadn't thought about, it raises your energy level, it raises your vibration, and now you begin to think differently about what's available to you. And so my Master Life classes is great. It's a tribe of individuals. Good morning, Crystal. How are you, dear? Who actually they have accountability, right? There's accountability there. There's awareness there, and there's clarity. So I invite you guys. You have until 12 midnight. I normally don't even invite the public to my Master Life classes, but the link to that is bit.ly/Master Life Offer. bit.ly/Master Life Offer. Guys, finding your abundant self, you have to find who that is for your next level, because everything that you attract into your life and your business, whether it's cyclic seasons with your finances, whether it's lack, or whether it's prosperity, is going to be connected to you, right? And your ability to see your value and see your worth. I had to do it. I had a season, guys, where I went back and I was reflecting, and I looked back and I was like, what was going on in this season when I was struggling, right? And what actually was going on was a lot of the conversations that I was having, right? My energy level for manifesting or bringing money into my life or doing the things that would actually bring the money into my life have been lowered, right? I was in a season where I wasn't valuing myself enough to even put some things in place, right? Because we have these conversations with ourselves about what we don't feel like, or it doesn't take all that we get from other people, maybe that we're doing too much, and those things have to be shifted and moved, and so that we can get on another abundant path, right? So I invite you guys to join me for that Master Life class. It's available for the public until 12 midnight tonight. We're having the money conversation on today. This is actually our last day. I've enjoyed you guys this week. For those of you who haven't had an opportunity to watch all of the money conversations, go back to day one. They're all on my timeline, the money conversations, and make sure that you save your seat. You join us for the Master Life class, Finding Your Abundant Self. There are some things that you're going to have to do for your next level of abundance, right? One of the things I shared with my client on that consultant call is I learned that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And so you have to begin to create small, I know they seem so small, but the habits of abundance. And I'm going to teach those things inside the Finding the Abundant You Master Life course. So I appreciate you guys. If you gained anything, if something shifted on the inside of you about you, your value, your worth, your coins, if this was even good to you, right? Make sure you tap the screen for hearts. You guys who follow me all the time, you know what we do at the end of the broadcast. Show a little love. There's a button on the left-hand side that says share. You guys can press that. Somebody else needs to hear this money conversation on today. Don't forget, guys, to press get notifications so that you can get a notification of when I come on again. I love coming on and sharing with you guys and seeing people inbox me or tell me how it's working for them. It's my assignment, it's my heart to come and bring the information to you guys so that we can fully get to our next level of abundance. I appreciate you guys taking this journey with me. You're simply amazing, and you have to know that. You have to really, really believe that for your next level of abundance. Your abundance is tied to you. Your mind has a lot to do with your money and everything else you set out to do. Ratilia, I saw you share that. I appreciate you, girl. You guys have a super, super abundant, amazing day. And I'll see many of you in my Master Life class. Peace. I'll put it in the comments of the video as well.